This is live. You're going to hit 3 more,
Okay.
and then we're going to talk about the intended issue here.
Okay.
I want to do it this way ahead of time, so like I haven't already fixed you.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and hit.
Yep. Awesome. Is that a little thin?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's come on over here for a second and hop on the right side of this camera.
Over here.
Yeah, the only reason for that is that my mics aren't charged. Okay, so I'm taking up to P4 right here, and at P4, everything looks really, really good, okay? Through the transition, it's pretty darn good, but when I look at like P5, okay, and I go to this position, and this is caddy view only, just from a geometry standpoint of this is what's very interesting. Your chest, so your knees are square, which they should be. Your hips are rotated, which they should be. Your pressure's left, which it should be. The rib cage is a little rotated, a little premature. The lead arm is a skosh out.
Yep.
And then you start moving the ball position a little further
Back.
forward.
Oh, forward.
It's forward. And I would say that is typically going to get your ball flight to start a little bit left, maybe a little high. Maybe you cut it a little bit and you pull it.
Okay.
And if you do tilt back from that left arm being out, which is very typical, the more that my hands come out, typically the more a player's going to side bend to get the path to the right. And you're a pretty darn good player. So if you're a high handicap player and your arm came out, you would probably stand up or fall back or do something interesting. So the question is like, okay, well, what I don't want to do, and this is what's important, I don't want to try to do anything with my wrist angles yet until I get the transition a little bit better.
Yeah.
Now, when I say transition, that doesn't mean on the downswing. It's actually the precursor to the downswing that's more important. So what I would do, we're not going to touch the ball yet where it is as you get to the top of your swing, I want you to keep rotating, and this thing is going to move.
Okay. Oh,
there we go.
Yeah.
We got it. All right. You're going to keep turning your hip back and forward before you get to the top. That. Okay. And what that should do, it should get the pressure to go down earlier and left earlier, and it'll get you a little more turn, which was the first thing that you mentioned, was that you tend to get the club in line, okay, and or laid off.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't want you to try, because things look pretty good up here, I don't want you to try to manipulate that artificially.
I mean, get maybe a little across the line.
Yeah, that I don't want to go down that road. Okay. Doesn't mean some players don't have to do that. You certainly don't. Okay. So let's do a couple like that.
Okay, so I'll just say it again.
Yep.
Take it to the top.
Yep.
Get a big, good full turn.
Yep.
And fall that way.
As you're going from about lead arm parallel on the backswing to the top. There. Correct.
Okay.
Now that'll do twofold, right? Because we have to respect two things in golf, okay? It's like with Drew, okay?
Yeah.
So Drew kind of lives two lives in golf, okay? I want to hit it really far, okay? Great. So there's some rules that are applied there. Then I want to play golf. There's rules that are applied there. They kind of can harmoniously exist, but sometimes they can't, especially if you want to be really, really, really fast. We don't care where it goes necessarily.
Yeah.
So we want to bridge that gap. Okay, so ready?
Yeah.
It's all right. Keep doing it. I expect you to go through that a little bit.
Yeah.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah,
keep
better.
keep doing that. Different. Okay, one more. How are you? My camera stole the spot. Is that all right? Dan, where did that start?
I'd say just a touch left of that pole with the red stripes. They drew a
Okay.
little bit.
And we're gonna do one more.
Okay.
Try to do this when you land there.
Yeah.
Try to feel like your back is to the target a little bit longer.
Got it.
Okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Good. Keep going. Okay, well, here's the good news. So look at this. Hi, dear. Good to see you. Okay, so clearly that's now crossed the line.
Okay.
So that movement from lead arm parallel, which is P3 to P4, you can see how your pelvis dropped
Uh-huh.
and your hip actually moved closer to the target. So what it
Yes.
actually did is because you were here, okay,
Uh-huh.
and look, this ain't rocket science.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like you. I know what I'm looking for, but sometimes I need to step back and go, okay, what's causing that?
Yeah.
Okay. This is just my opinion. Like the geometry of what a golf swing should or shouldn't do is not like life changing. But we're high, as human beings, we're highly reactive to what goes on out here. So if I said to myself, okay, I want to start this ball more right. Now, this will affect path. I'm going to get to the top, okay, from the transition from lead arm parallel, increase the turn and drop down and left a lot earlier than I might respect.
Yeah.
That will move your swing direction more right,
Okay.
which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay. But as you've noticed, this might change what happens at the bottom a little bit. So we'll get into that
Okay.
next. But you can see now your lead arm is more in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So now your lead arm is actually like 15 degrees in, and the shaft is pointing to slightly inside the ball,
Oh, yeah.
which is good.
Yeah.
Let's do a couple more like that.
Okay.
Then we're gonna have fun with the secondary piece. That was awesome. Okay, so let's think about this for a moment, okay? Because this is all you have to do. Because pressure was right longer in your swing, and I'm going to be a little bit. This is my preference.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're kind of an outlier. Okay, demographically. So I teach a bunch of different models. Okay. That doesn't mean that those models negate completely what the geometry of the swing should or shouldn't look like, okay? And what I mean by that is if I had somebody who was not a very good player, I wouldn't move pressure so much and I wouldn't move mass, okay? But you hit it really, really far demographically, okay? I get the fact that that's a good thing on some levels, but we need to know where it goes,
Yeah.
okay? So if I go, hey, I'm just gonna put more and more subjective energy through the system and I can't support it, I can't play golf,
Yeah.
right? So that might be good for people that don't hit it anywhere, but you do. So problem is we need to kind of control where this ball's starting, okay? That's number one, then we can curve it.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is you're now getting this piece put in there where you're landing left earlier with kind of more turn
Yeah.
through the system, which is great. Now we have to know how to react to that.
Yeah.
Okay, because we've changed something.
Right.
So when you get to your left foot, let me kind of show
Yeah.
you this. So when you get to your lead side and you get pressure going down,
Yeah.
okay, that would show up on 3D as a linear hit piece, okay? Or we'll just call it a slide, okay? It is not, okay?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean some patterns I wouldn't teach that. Some people I have them feel that way, okay? Why? Why would we want to do that? What does this cause?
Yeah, up. You're down.
Tilt.
Tilt.
Tilt
Yeah.
causes more tilt.
Tilt. Yeah.
But what also causes more tilt is just the pelvis going forward and down through the transition. Like already that causes me to have some side bend,
Right.
which we want because that's what gets you to the ball.
Right.
But how we push as a reaction is really interesting, okay? So let's cover yours,
Yeah.
okay? So you go to the top, you look nice, pressure's right, you're pretty centered. And then on the downswing, you would always push linearly towards the target,
Yeah.
because the heavier you're right, the heavier you're going to the left. Okay, that's how I want you to think of it.
Yeah.
So the heavier I go right, the heavier I go left. If I don't recenter the pressure down and
Right.
left fast enough.
Right.
Okay, think of like Rory McIlroy. That's
Yeah.
what he does. Okay,
Yeah, because
So-
he gets way around and then he kind of.
he does. He's very good at using his right hip.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, normal human beings that are not good at golf should not do what he does, because they don't have the capability to get into the right hip and drop and do that.
Right.
Okay. Tour pros don't have that ability. Quite a few of them. That's why they're not Rory McIlroy.
Right.
Okay. So, that's another whole subject.
Right.
But let's think about what you're doing here. So you're heavy pushing right, heavy pushing left. So the other option I have, right or wrong, is I could push vertical.
Right.
Okay. Not a good idea either, because if I go to the top, I push down and push up, I actually lose horizontal rotation, which is rotating like a Ferris wheel, or excuse me, a merry-go-round. Excuse me, if I push vertical, it's a Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a good idea already, because you're already swinging slightly to the right. Okay. So I need to start rotating horizontally. Okay. And that's partly due to you hitting the brakes on your left side. So when you go up and your pressure goes down and left, when it goes into your lead side, it's not vertical, okay,
Yeah.
which was a problem. It's horizontal. So
Got
I
it.
want you, when you land there, to feel like you're gonna push from the ball of your left foot towards your left heel and straighten your leg immediately.
Okay.
And when it straightens, it's not straightening this way, it's straightening back.
That way. Yeah.
Okay, so it's going from the anterior part of your body, or the forward part of your body, to the posterior side of your body. Here's the trick. When you do it, back is to the target. So don't spin everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get up here and
You push open.
yeah.
Okay. Let this do what it does for the
Okay.
most part.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Ready?
Yeah. Okay, now I probably went straight up, didn't I?
It was pretty good. Keep going.
I probably.
Hey, well, let's be fair, okay? There will be an equal amount of vertical and horizontal if you do it correctly, okay? So I'm not taking away straight vertical frontal plane torque, okay? I'm adding 50-50 representation of both, so this and that, okay? Tremendous. So that started right and drew back.
Yeah.
Okay, do that again. Get that on both sides for you. Little thin but pretty. So in my mind, that was a little late on your landing phase,
Okay.
but really, really nice looking.
Okay. So get to my left ball, my left foot earlier.
Correct. close.
Yeah. Maybe why it's too early?
Nope,
No, okay.
not at all.
Just maybe get the back turned a little better.
Nope, it was more pushing this way that was needed. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you got a pretty good handle over the transition right now.
Yeah.
And then I'll show you kind of where you need to train. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, let's talk about the training phase.
Okay.
Because you're doing this all under the duress of full motion.
Right.
And sure, it sounds great that you're going to be able to do that. I think you're getting the first phase very, very good. I think you're keeping your back to the target longer. You do run into one issue, okay? And this is why it's harder to push. Let me see your club for a minute. Okay. So when you look at your film, okay, and look from like right here for me.
Okay.
Okay, so stand on the other side of the camera. Okay, so you get to the top, and if your chest basically rotates too early, okay, this way,
Yep.
the radius of your arms starts to shorten,
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
okay? We don't want the radius of your arms to shorten, we want the radius of the wrist to shorten, okay?
Right.
So that's just gonna load, okay?
Yeah.
I don't think about it, I don't even train it, I don't really care if I do this or not. I care that I don't do this,
Right.
okay?
So I got to keep it out.
Well, true. So one of the training things that you need to do is as you go back and you land closed, you're going to feel like this stays wide, but this stays closed. Now this will load, but this has to stay wide. It can only stay wide if the chest doesn't open.
Okay.
Now here's the trick. I would do this probably with an impact bag or something.
Okay.
You do this where you land here and this stays closed, this stays wide, and then from that point, then you're going to push your rotation through the bottom and hit the back.
Got it.
That's what I would do.
Okay.
Just so you get a sense of everything separating
Yeah.
and this staying wide and you delivering that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's I didn't feel like I was separating, even though I tried to keep it out there.
Right.
It just didn't feel like I was doing it because I guess I always go like that.
Yeah, you'd wipe it.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. And I'm trying to be fair here, like sequentially.
Yeah.
You can't do all this under the context of speed.
Yeah.
At now. Okay. Just not going to happen.
Right.
But get this really, really good,
Yeah.
and then feel like the rib cage stays closed.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then put the push in. Okay.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
are the 1 and 2s.
Yeah.
Okay. One more time.
Yeah. Okay.
Try it again. You're all right. Just think transition and push back closed.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I still got out on it.
It's okay. Let's see how long you can stay closed when you do your landing.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see how that didn't hook.
Yeah.
So like if you're a tour player, you would be fried right now if I told you like 50% of what I just told you, maybe 20%. I got to get you to start the ball in line and make good contact if that was an issue.
Yeah.
So I have to do that like on an off week. You're like, okay, this is the trend you're going down. But if you have to play tomorrow, what are you going to do? Well, to me, it would be solely transition. Get your pressure to land here, stay close.
Yeah.
I mean, keep it that simple.
Yeah. Get it here, stay closed, and then push.
Yeah,
Push.
the best you can.
Yeah.
There's some guys like, and this is what's interesting. I would say this, like from a completely like orthodox playing like position. And this is what makes like a Butch Harmon really good as being a coach. Okay. So why he's really good is if I told you to hit balls at that red and white stake right there, he's going to try to get you to hit every one of them right of it. Okay. And I'm just saying that for him right now.
Yeah.
But not miss any left of it. You could play if that was in your brain, right? If you knew you're not going to hit it left, you could play golf. That's going to compound some form of interest of confidence that you have control.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Even though like the whole template I gave you is probably right? But you can't completely do it.
Yeah. Right.
So let's think about this for a minute. I just gave you somewhat of a task, okay? So if the technical side of me went away for a moment and I said you had to miss every ball right of that flag right there, you landing closed and down longer will help you do that. Okay? Show me that.
Okay. Hit it?
Yeah. Don't even worry about pushing open. Just do that. See, Yahtzee, start right of it.
Yeah. That felt really good. And it's like everything just went.
Right. So you're good enough as an athlete to react to a lot of that, right? So even though fundamentally we look at it on V1 and you're like, oh, well, this can get a little better, this can get a little better.
Yeah.
That's all downstream stuff.
Yeah.
Like you got to get the first part put in there.
Right. And that's this.
Correct.
But yet this too, I guess. You want to get up here.
There.
You have this out here. And then just boom.
Correct.